Can you explain what a syndicate is, what that means? Like, so this is something you were personally investing in?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So what's a syndicate? Tell people what that is.
a syndicate is a fancy name for a group. A syndication is a fancy word for a group investment, and that's really all it is. So instead of one person where you might have the capital to tackle a fourplex or an eightplex or whatever 12 unit, 16 unit, when it comes to these large commercial 300 unit, 400 unit properties, not very many people have the capital to come up with a down payment. And so then you come up with a group of investors. There's the general partners who are going to operate the investment, and then the limited partners who provide the capital. And that is essentially a group of people going together to, the bottom line is you're coming up with a down payment. The bank is going to finance 75% or 80% of the purchase price, but we need to come up with that large down payment plus the capital expenditure, the rehab money. So that's what the syndicate members are coming together to do.
Got it. And so your business is to help people place money in these syndicates?
That's exactly right. So yeah. I had that first experience with my first investment 4 years ago, and then shortly after that, retooled my entire existence to focus on commercial multifamily. Was originally starting down the path of being the one to go source these deals, build up the relationship with those commercial brokers, et cetera, go out there and raise the capital for my own deals. I learned a lot in that process. I was starting to go down that road, learn how much of a team sport and systems-based world this is, and came across an opportunity to partner and play a role with a few of the operators in the space who already had those systems, who already had those relationships, who just needed help on the capital raising side. So I was able to align myself with several of these high performing operators, just focusing on the investor side, helping expose more individuals to these potential investments, educate them, and place their dollars with these operators and deals that I can tell them are pre-vetted, successful operators, a solid deal, and show them how I vetted it, so that as they're busy and successful already in their own day-to-day life, I can come to them with opportunities that are pre-vetted and worth their attention.
How does this compare to what Grant Cardone is doing?
He's in the same field. He doesn't need somebody like me because he has a marketing powerhouse, right? So he's out there buying apartments, with really tight cap rates, A-class type properties, really banking on future appreciation. So he has a different mindset and an approach, but we're tackling the same, maybe a different asset class, but the same type of investment class.
What's the advantage of somebody investing with you, like, having you place the money versus with Grant Cardone?
So, with the Grant Cardone, again, you're going into these A plus super speculative deals where he's not really buying a value add opportunity. He's really banking on just the growth of the market. Our approach is, we're going to buy a B class property. You and I would be comfortable living there with our wives and kids. So these aren't crappy properties that we have to turn around. These are well-performing properties that we know we can fine tune. And, basically taking the Formica countertops up to a granite or a quartz, adding some dog parks, some Amazon lockers, whatever, fixing up the clubhouse. And in doing that, you're then able to increase the rent by $100, $150 a unit. That directly impacts the value of this property. So we can control that. Where on the Cardone side, he's not doing that value add. He's really just buying it, hoping this thing appreciates. It's just a different angle on the same type of multifamily.
So like basically the return, like the Grant Cardone stuff is safer in one sense because the assets probably don't need a lot of repairs and stuff, but the rent rates are not going to go up that much, and it's time. It's like inflation. You got to wait for time to pass for rents to go up and then the value to go up. Whereas with like the Class B properties, as an operator, you can make changes immediately to that property and immediately increase the rents. What kind of return is, the average person, expecting when they have you place money for them in these syndication deals?
Yeah. So what we generally project trying to go in there very conservatively, is we're projecting generally about a 5-year hold. Again, we try to project conservatively and then exceed these expectations. But a 5-year hold, generally about a 15%-ish type of a return, meaning that if we can double your equity position in a 5-year hold. So, for example, a $100,000 investment, it's with us for 5 years. You're talking about the monthly distributions from cash flow on the building operations, and then the return of your slice of the proceeds when we sell this thing. that should be roughly a 2x equity event.